Hi, Mr. Young here. Now in this video I'm going to apply the concepts of producer and consumer surplus to assess the loss to society, the deadweight loss from monopoly provision. This demand curve is the market demand curve. This line here is the monopolist marginal cost curve and the competitive industry's supply curve. And yes, this marginal cost curve is slightly different from the umbrella shape you normally see. But if you're going to analyse consumer and producer surplus, you want all of your curves intersecting the vertical axis. This is the marginal revenue curve of the monopolist. Now in conditions of perfect competition, the market price is going to be where supply equals demand, and that occurs at PC, and the market output is going to be QC. That's our position of competitive equilibrium. Assume now that the competitive industry becomes a monopoly. Assuming the monopoly is a profit maximizer, they're going to set output here where marginal cost equals marginal revenue. They're going to produce at output level QM and the market price will be PM. Now analysis is about consequence, and yes, it's true to say that output's fallen from QC to QM and that price has risen from PC to PM, but analysis can be improved by talking about the efficiency implications. In the competitive market, price equals marginal cost, and QC is the allocatively efficient level of output. But the profit maximizing monopolist uses their market power to set output at QM. This is below the allocatively efficient level of output, and so you have market failure from underproduction. Society is failing to make best use of scarce resources. There is allocative inefficiency. So we've analysed in terms of lower output and higher prices. We've analysed in terms of the impact on allocative efficiency. How about now applying the concepts of consumer and producer surplus? This will help us quantify the extent of market failure. Now a quick reminder that consumer surplus is the difference between what consumers are willing to pay, as shown by the demand curve, and the price actually paid. Well, in perfect competition that's PC. So here we have a price line. So if we took output level QM, consumers are willing to pay here, but actually pay here. So this entire area, JLPC, is the total area of consumer surplus. Now producer surplus is the difference between what producers are willing to accept, as shown by the marginal cost or supply curve, and the price actually received. It's therefore the area below the price line and above the supply curve. It's area PC, L and P when we are in a competitive industry. Now we've already said that when the industry is monopolized, when we move from competition to monopoly, the price goes up from PC to PM and output falls to QM. But what's the impact on consumer surplus? It was JLPC, it's now JKPM. The total loss of consumer surplus is PM, KLPC, and consumers are losing out 1 because output's fallen from QC to QM, less is being bought. And this area here, KNL, that's the area of lost consumer surplus because of the fall in output. But there's also a transfer going on. This area here, PM, KN, PC, that was once consumer surplus, but that's now been transferred to the monopolist as a result of the price rise. We can assess this in more detail by looking at producers. Now they too have lost out because output's fallen. They've lost out by this amount, NLM, because output's fallen from here to here. But they have captured this amount of consumer surplus, PM, KN, PC, and converted it to producer surplus. So what's the overall loss to society from this move from competition to monopoly? It comes in two parts. The area of lost consumer surplus from lower output and the area of lost producer surplus from lower output. So the total area of welfare loss to society from monopolization is KLM, and that's called a welfare loss triangle. This triangle actually quantifies the cost of allocative inefficiency from monopoly provision. Now some students, when they write an essay, just state KLM is the area of welfare loss and just leave it there. Good analysis requires both an explanation of cause and consequence.